No. No.
Welcome back. Oh wait, what? Oh god, that is shocking. And we're live.
How many times have you done that now, Jay?
Why did I start like that?
I don't
That's
know.
horrendous.
I don't know.
That's a great way to start the podcast.
Are you actually going to keep that in as well?
100%, yeah.
Alright, so
all my editing stuff is just to mug you off as much as possible. But besides that, how you doing, Jay?
I'm very well. Not great after Wednesday's performance. That was a interesting day on the pitch for me. For context, I finished my exam at about 11:45. I'd agreed to play cricket at 12 o'clock. So me being me, I got there on J standard times. That was plus half an hour. Let's say about that.
Yeah.
So
I
let's
think it was
just say that.
about like 12:30, maybe even 1:45 by the time you rocked up. Actually, I think it was 1:45.
Yeah, well, regardless, like no one's listening, so I'll say what happened. I went to Sainsbury's because I needed to get some stuff. So then I went back home.
I mean, at the very least, you know, me and Paddy are listening. We're definitely gonna.
Yeah, but I was just scoring. So I don't really care if Joe was there or not.
I mean, like it's not my.
I rated it that you went from the exam and you're still like, yeah, I'll play.
Yeah, I that.
And didn't go out on the boozer.
No, most of my friends had finished, but yeah. So I came down to the game, fielded for about 40 overs, didn't do very much. I got a run out. That was quite a tasty run out at deep third man, long third man. Yeah,
Just third man, mate.
Third man.
I was thinking, I don't know why I was
Deep
saying
third
that.
man's off the pitch.
In the ground.
Peps would be on the railroad.
Yeah. So third man, collect it on the full in. Keeper takes the stumps. That
was good. I'll give you that.
I'll take that. And then
not quite as good as
Adele's.
Sam's run out yesterday.
My run out yesterday, I was pretty pumped for.
Oh, what happened yesterday?
So I was short third man at sort of death overs.
Yeah.
Batsman schnicks it behind. The keeper Phil drops it, and shells it, rolls away towards me. The striking batsman set off thinking there's got to be one here if he drops it.
Yeah.
Non-striker's just gone, no, I'm on it. Pick it up. Dead eye. Bottom of middle stump. Thank you very much.
See you soon. How'd you bat?
Bad okay. I took 17 balls before I got off the mark.
Okay.
There was some leg buys in there.
Bit quick.
Yeah, definitely pushed it a little bit.
Yeah.
Was feeling quite good. Got to 6 and then just got one that rolled and nipped back in, edged it onto my pad, onto the stumps.
And is that officially your final ever university match?
That will be my final university match.
I guess that's kind of poetic in that it's just like typical of Scottish cricket that you get one that just rolls and then that's the end of your career.
The stars were aligned for you to go on and win the game with an unbeaten ton.
So I was feeling it. Me and Fergus were batting quite well out there.
Fergus and I
were batting quite well out there. And then I just got one that rolled, and then he decided to chip one to mid wicket about 5 overs later.
We're back to you, Jay. We've had enough of Sam.
Yeah, I mean, you got one more than I. You got. Did you get one or how many did you get? 6. You got 6 more than I did on Wednesday. I continued my great form on Wednesday. Yeah. I first over I was playing too aggressive. Like at my first ball I actually like played a proper shot, and I was like, why? I never do this. Like I block for the first 10 overs almost.
Yeah, it was an okay hoik.
And then then
got out.
Yeah, this guy. In my mind, I was like, alright, I'm gonna hit this guy over his head. Because like, there's no fielders behind, like.
And no fielders in the sky.
There are no fielders in the sky.
So I was like, right, I'm going over his head, and then I just missed a straight one. Yeah. I just missed a straight one. The ball was doing nothing. It was just horrendously bad. Like I tried to force a shot because I was 0 off 8 balls, and I was like, right, I need to get off the mark here.
Mate, no, you don't.
I shouldn't have. I should have the temperament as an opening bat to just stay there and not worry about the score. And what's bad is I told Rahul at the other end, my opening partner, that don't worry about the score for the first 10 overs, and then after 8 balls, I've tried to go over the top.
I wish I'd played against more batsmen who got pressured by 8 dot balls. We get a lot more wickets that way, I reckon.
Yeah, I think we do pretty well.
So yeah, we lost that game, which was disappointing to say the least. But I think the threes we're gonna get promoted, which I think is pretty good if we beat RGU next.
Yeah,
week.
Uni 3s are pretty much guaranteed up now.
Paddy, have you played much cricket recently? Well, I've heard
No,
you're
I
broken.
haven't. I've cracked a rib taking an absolutely stunning diving catch, if I do say so myself.
I can confirm he's not just blowing his own trumpet there. It was pretty impressive. Although Paddy's half of the catch was less impressive.
Yeah. So I was bowling,
Yeah.
and I serve up the juiciest of juicy half volleys. And Cam Kelly, standing at short cover, sees that it's a half volley and bricks it because this guy absolutely murders it about a foot above his head.
Yeah.
And he jumps up, tips it over the bar, David De Gea-esque. Well, I suppose not David De Gea this season. But maybe last year's David De Gea tips it over the bar.
Yeah.
I turn around in my follow through, full extension dive, both hands, parallel to the ground, catch it, land on my rib.
Ouch. Did you
So
hear
it didn't go then. Like, it got really, really weak. I could tell like something was wrong. And then 2 days later, I got out of bed. I just literally sat up, and it's a really loud crack. And then that's me done for the next 2 months.
2 months now? That's 3 weeks last week.
Honestly, it's not feeling good.
Ouch.
But and I'm not feeling great now because I'm so hungover.
He's going to be on the Source later tonight as well.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I mean, what's the point once you finish your exams? Surely this is what it's all about. Yeah. Plus, it was our AGM last night. And I got elected as a University 2's captain.
So one's captain of Marshman, two's captain of the University Club. What's next? And sponsorship second this year.
Presumably three's captain somewhere else.
Yeah. Next. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, but I'm hanging pretty hard now. I've got a Deliveroo coming. Other food delivery services are available. But if I start sprouting more nonsense. Sprouting.
Just growing it.
If I start spouting more nonsense than usual, then at least there's an excuse this time.
I think just first off, congratulations for becoming 2's captain. I look forward to the call up.
You can certainly look forward to it.
No, it's fair.
That sounded so sad.
No, unless maybe if I get
if you average 90 something again, then there's a big chance.
Well, I mean now it's 47, I think, after yesterday. But
oh no,
such a shame. I know.
Yeah. I think I averaged 2 because I came in with 5 balls to spare. I'm pretty sure one of the few times I batted, and just had to run a quick 2 to get the other guy back on strike, and I was out by about 3 meters.
Ouch. The Cricket World Cup. It's finally here. 2019 Cricket World Cup starts May 30th at the Oval. England versus South Africa. I think what we're going to try and do in this podcast is we're going to break down each team, what we think is going to happen, and I think, Sam, let's start off with some Afghanistani cricket. I think...
I like how we just blatantly go alphabetical order all the time.
It's a nice...
It's an easy way to do it.
Chronological way. We're all scientists.
It's not chronological, is it?
We're not chronological, but
no, chronological is not the word.
No, chronological is
ordered.
time, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
alphabetically ordered.
Yeah.
It's just an easy way to sort.
I don't know why did I say that. Can we just stop?
No. We keep going. Mainly because I'm so hungover, I'm not going to do any editing. It's literally at the start, could edit it out. I'm probably just going to go to sleep instead.
So yeah, Afghanistan, obviously playing under
the new captain
Gulbuddin Naib, after a pretty left field decision to just get rid of Asghar Afghan.
I read a comment by Gulbuddin earlier today that he still treats Asghar as the captain kind of thing. I was like, can you do that when you're the captain?
Can you not really do that when the bloke who changed his name because he loves his country that much,
Asghar Afghan,
and has captained Afghanistan for how many years now?
2, 3 years, 4 years.
A few years now, and he's still in the team, in the squad. It's like he's going to still be treated as captain by a lot of players, if not all of them.
I think looking at the squad, they've got a lot of spinners. You got Rashid Khan, Mujib, Mohammed Nabi, Samiullah Shinwari, a lot of wrist spinners in that team. And I think they've got some explosive batting with Shahzad and Zazai, and he's an Asghar Afghan as well. He's quite a swashbuckling player if you watch him play. I think the two things that they will be very reliant is actually Ramit Shah, their number 3 batsman. He's a very consistent player. He got runs in their second ever test against Ireland. He got, I think, 98 and 70 odd or 60 odd, and he's kind of the linchpin to that middle order. And if he can get them runs and like consistently score, not at like a rapid pace, but get them 60 or 70, and kind of anchor the innings, they have a possibility of scoring big totals. What about you, Sam? Who do you think is the key component? Do you think it's Rashid Khan, or do you think it's a batsman?
Funnily enough, actually, neither in a way, because with the spin bowling in particular, I said that they've got a lot there, and it's really high quality, and you kind of know it's going to perform.
Yeah.
It's not likely to let them down.
Seamers.
Yeah. This is the thing. I think a lot will depend on how well their seamers do, because you can't just go without seamers.
You might just play 5
spinners. It's kind of their weak link is their seam attack.
Yeah, Hamid Hassan is back.
Yeah.
So we actually had a good conversation with Peter Della Penna, episode...
It should be the one before this.
Yeah, we're doing a little double header this weekend. So we'll do that episode. Will come out on Saturday.
Yeah.
So
they will be chronologically ordered, Jay. That's what that means.
So Peter said that Hamid Hassan is still a very good bowler, but he's nowhere. He hasn't got the pace that he used to have, and I wonder whether having someone that bowls like that X factor pace is what Afghanistan needed, or do you think kind of maybe someone that bowls say 80 miles an hour but kind of puts length is a more useful player for that team?
I think if you offered them the choice, particularly with it being Afghanistan and the way they play cricket, they'd take the ridiculous pace. But
does it really matter how quick they bowl as long as they don't get hit for bombs?
I think particularly with it being in England, even if it is going to be played on a lot of quite flat decks and the white ball doesn't swing that much, there's still that opportunity for slightly slower bowlers to still be very effective. I think they've got a chance with their seam attack, but it's definitely the weak link for them. It needs to perform if they're going to do well.
For me, a player that I'm interested to see how much game time he gets is Samuel Shinwari. So he's been around the Afghanistan team for a while, and a lot of the time he's dug them out of holes when he's batting. He's picked as an all-rounder that bowls primarily leg spin, but more often than not, if they're like 30 for 5, 40 for 5, something like that, he will get them to 150, 160, because he just seems to get like 60s and 70s to kind of dig them out of holes. And I wonder, again in this situation, whether he gets selected, because obviously you've got Rashid and Mujib as your two primary top 2 spinners, I would say, how much game time he gets, because I think he, often or not, he's dug them out of holes, and I wonder if they get in a hole, who's going to dig them out. Predictions, Paddy? How do you think Afghanistan is? Do you think there's going to cause any upsets?
I think it's a really difficult one to call, because they're a team that could win some big games, but I'm struggling to say that they're gonna get out of the group.
Yeah.
I think they'll be in the bottom 2 or 3. But that's not me saying I want them to be in the bottom 2 or 3. I'd absolutely love them to go on and
get to the semis,
cause some upsets and win some big games, as long as it's not against England.
Should we move on to Australia?
Yeah.
Certainly can do. That's next in the alphabet. Yeah.
Not chronological.
No.
It's
well.
alphabetical, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they've they brought in Steven Smith and David Warner. Who did they kick out? Ashton Turner. Yes.
Turner's not there.
And
Hanscom.
Hanscom is the big one. Yeah, Hanscom is the big one. Like, how crazy is that? Peter Hanscom gets 100 in India. He's been in very good nick for the Australian ODI team, and just doesn't get picked.
Yeah, I mean, particularly Sean Marsh is still in the squad.
No, is he?
Sean Marsh offers everything. He's a high quality.
Yeah,
player.
to the opposition.
Yeah, he's a high quality player.
I mean, he scored some runs recently, but not as many as Hanscom. So why he's still in the squad?
He struggled to get in the Marchment ones.
I mean, yeah, Hanscom made 3 scores out of the 5 games in India. He made 40 plus.
Yeah.
Against Pakistan, he struggled. and they did play 5 games, and I guess that was a bit more recent, so that's probably their argument. So he didn't do well in Pakistan.
But also, it's a very strong squad, and someone has to go out to bring in in Smith and Warner. Well,
controversial opinion
arguably.
is Steve's. No, actually, no. Sorry, I was going to say something, but then I realised no, I wouldn't. So I was going to say that
it would have been a controversial opinion, but you don't hold this opinion.
Yeah, but I was going to say controversial opinion. Steve Smith shouldn't be in the team, but then I realised no, he's actually still too good on one day.
I mean, that is a controversial opinion. It's just we need to find someone who believes that.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, and then I realised no.
Were you to hold that opinion, it would be controversial. There's an argument for it, but not in the sense of him as a cricketer, but like him as a bloke. There's an argument to say that
he shouldn't be playing cricket.
But if Cricket Australia, they've said that they've served his ban. He's served his ban. Then they're well within their rights to pick him.
Yeah.
So
that's it. The big one is Hazelwood. No Josh Hazelwood.
Yeah.
Who's your third? Who would you pick as your third teamer? So I assume Stark and Pat Cummins are nailed down. Do you play 4 seamers and Zampa? That's what they normally do. Or do you play Lyon? That's another question. Like, who would you pick? You've got
Stoinis wedges them down.
I think Stoinis is. I think Stoinis is in
the
there.
team because
I think
he
he's
offers
picked
a good amount of balance to the team as well.
I think he's picked as an all-round.
Yeah.
So I would say Stoinis, probably 4 seamers and a spinner, or maybe 2 spinners and 3 seamers.
I'd probably Glenn would be in the team, and Glenn.
Oh, hi Glenn. How are you?
And Glenn offers. That's been a while since we've welcomed Glenn back.
I hope he's still listening, even though he's not.
Maxie offers the spin with the ball, so I'll probably play 1 more spinner.
Yeah. I completely forgot about Glenn.
Probably Zampa.
Yeah. And he's a good limited overs leg spinner. I think wrist spin is going to be the key.
Oh.
So who's your third seamer if you've got Pat Stoinis and Mitchell Stark?
You're essentially deciding between Behrendorff and Richardson, aren't you?
Yeah.
Coulter-Nile.
Coulter-Nile, I suppose.
I think Coulter-Nile can bat a bit. He makes the tail a little bit shorter.
I mean, the tail is Zampa and that third seamer, because other than that, they can all bat.
Yeah. Who do you think is the key player to the Australian team for this World Cup? Do you think it's Finch or do you think it's just Smith?
I think Davey Warner.
Yeah.
Crucial.
Is he going to open or is he going to drop down like how he did a couple? They tried him out, I think, at 4 or 6.
I think they're going to try and follow a similar tactic to England with the opening attack. So actually, if you've got someone like Warner, I think they'll probably open with him.
So Warner and Finch
try and get a
3.
sort of 60-70 ball 100 at the top.
And that's pretty handy, isn't it?
Yeah, and he's the kind of guy that when he's playing badly will score an 80 ball 100 as opposed to a 60 ball 100.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
That's definitely a strong squad. And to be fair, I mean, you asked for a key player, it could be any of them, really.
Yeah, actually, looking at this squad with, there's no weak players. If you know what I mean, there's no... Anyone in that team can be a match winner for them.
Yeah.
I just think that it's a strong team.
Even someone like Alex Carey has shown that he can do it.
Oh, as
well as being a really solid gloveman.
Yeah. I think... What was your prediction for Australia? You think they're going to do it? I've heard a lot of people saying that they're going to do it.
I mean, we've had it discussed, I think, before on this very podcast with George Simmons.
Simo was saying it, yeah.
Said he reckons Australia are going to win.
He sent me a little Twitter DM as well. Yeah. It's being like, it could be on. It genuinely could be on.
But they've got a strong enough squad. I don't think they'll do it.
Think they'll bottle it, or do you think?
I'm gonna chuck out a prediction of losing the semi-final.
What I think that'll be the fourth
team through.
Fourth team through, first out.
Okay, is there a third, fourth playoff?
Doubt it.
My delivery today. No. Little break there. Just my delivery's shown up. So I've got my double cheeseburger and chips.
Oh. Now a chip, please.
Well, yeah. Very nice. Chip for you, Sam?
Yes, thank you.
But yeah, I suppose...
we can't do this.
We can do whatever we want. Hi. I suppose we've done the Aussies now. Should we move on to the bees? The Bangladeshis of the world.
Yeah, it's.
I think the team they've had the same team for a while. They haven't brought there's no real youngsters in this team. This team has been pretty set for the last 3-4 years. I'd say majority of this team were at the 2015 World Cup. Murtaza was obviously there. Litton Das, Mamadullah, Mehedi wasn't. I don't believe. I think he was too young. But Shakib, Sumir Sarkar, Tamim, Rubel, Mushfiqur Rahim, a lot of that team have played a World Cup before, and I think that experience is going to help them massively. I don't see a match winner. I think Shakib, yeah, of course, sure, Shakib can win you games, but
and Tamim can as well.
I'm. If they're chasing 210, if they're chasing 300, they need more than just Tamim to get runs. I mean, Shakib and Mushrika can do it, and
but he is a match winner.
Yeah.
You say you'd look at that squad. I can see 2 match winners.
Watch it now. He's going to score. He's going to score at least 2 tons.
Well, you love Tamim. So.
I'll call it now. He's going to score at least 2 tons.
Yeah, well, that's fair. Out of 9 games, I'd expect that. I'd expect him to fire twice, but I don't think he gets 2 tons. I think he gets 100 at 1 ton and then a 90 or 80, a very quick 90 or 80.
At least 2 tons.
Should we put VK on it?
Yeah, go on.
So you're saying 2 tons from Tamim?
Yeah, and you're saying
1 ton.
I'm saying 2 or more.
I'm saying
more than 1.5. And you're saying less than 2.
I mean, what do you, Sam? What do you?
You can't count them.
Sam, what do you think of the Bangladesh team?
It's
a hard
It's
one.
an all right squad
on
paper. If I'm honest, I'd have them down as finishing bottom of the group.
Worse than Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think Afghanistan will pull off a few victories.
Yeah.
Bangladesh, I think they won't get thumped very often,
but they won't get close to a win.
They I don't think they'll win more than a couple of games.
Yeah.
If even that.
Yeah, I think. I just don't.
I'm not really sure how much you can say about the side. I don't think they've got the players, and I don't think they've got the ability to win enough games to get through. I'm honest. The harsh reality of it is, I don't think they're fit to compete effectively in the tournament. I think it would be the same. I think it would be the same if with some of the other associate nations were in there. Well, obviously they're not an associate nation, but had an associate nation come in their place, I think they'd also be in the same spot. It's not a bad side, but the good sides are so good at the moment, and
they're just not on the same level.
Do you, anyone in particular that you think could keep an eye on to see if they perform exceptionally well? Do you expect anyone to get near the top of the runs tally or wickets column?
Well, Shakib definitely has a chance of being
both.
Yeah. And
how's his form been recently?
Not that good.
That's what I was gonna say, because I haven't seen him doing that well in the IPL, or he also been injured for a bit. He's not been playing that much cricket either.
But equally, he's a class act, and he could easily just come out the gates, absolutely firing, and just go banging tons, taking fifers
all day.
Yeah.
Shall we move on to the one that's going to cause some interesting discussions, at least, is
the squad we certainly know the most about.
England.
Yeah.
First off, bye Denley, bye David Willey, welcome Jofra Archer, welcome Liam Dawson. Jofra Archer, I think, is a very fair call. I think, but amazing how they gave him 1 game. Didn't they rest him for the second one? Or did they give him 2?
The first 2.
He played the first 2, then they let him go home. So in 2 ODIs, they decided that he's going to play in the World Cup.
And one of them was the match abandoned as well.
Yeah.
But he bowled 6 or 7 overs.
No, it's 4 overs.
And he honestly, I don't think I've ever been told to watch highlights of a game that's been abandoned. But when I got back into the flat after I don't know where I've been, but when the game was on, you have to watch these highlights. You have to watch Jofra bowl. And it was unreal.
He looks like he just jogs in and then it just whomps off the pitch. It just accelerates off the deck. It's crazy.
He is a real special talent.
Every player so far said he's so talented as well.
I think he brings. Obviously, the England batting lineup is full of X factor players.
As you so elegantly put it earlier.
But the bowling lineup's always been a little bit kind of, it's the aim is to restrict the opposition to a score that the batting lineup can deal with.
Yeah.
And that's the way the England team has essentially operated. I think Jofra actually brings in that opportunity for the bowling lineup to really properly win games.
And try and take
to
wickets to try and
bowl
get
sides out for sort of
really
100-ish. He's the kind of guy in my mind who's going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
What was
him and, as much as it pains me to say, Rashid. Rashid's bowling pretty well at the moment.
bowling well.
Yeah, I mean they're the two bowlers in that squad who are strike bowlers. Yeah,
I think one other thing that's interesting is how quick Jofra bowls. I saw a stat: him and Wood average bowl pace is 89 miles an hour. That's genuine heat.
Well, and I think you also have to remember that'll include probably their slower balls.
It does.
How crazy is that?
So actually, when they're trying to bowl it,
when
their average pace
I saw an
a
average
couple
of
miles
his of just his quicker balls, and it was in the 92s.
Yeah,
it's rapid. And his first wicket was a 93 mile an hour Yorker, which takes the stump out of the ground.
Do you think it's well, this is for a different podcast, I think, but like Ashes?
I think he'll be in there. Yeah. I mean, he already received Stuart Broad's backing, and that's a big backing to get as a quick bowler.
That Broad, Anderson, Archer, and Wokes, and then Stokes is your fifth team. How strong is that team?
Yeah. And then Leach is your spinner.
No, I think they're going to play Denley.
Well, if you bring in
but they won't play him as a spinner in Test cricket.
He'll play as second spinner.
Yeah, but
then who's your
they should drop Mo.
Yeah, but if you bring in
they won't drop Mo, but they
if
should.
You bring in Jofra into the England Test side, you get a sort of a seamer that can bat a bit, so you kind of soften the tail and allow Leach to come in and be an absolute bunny.
Other one is James Vince. I don't remember him being in the preliminary squad.
It was.
So who did they drop for Vince?
They dropped.
So Willie's gone.
Hales.
Ah, yeah, Hales. Yeah,
Hales is no longer in the squad.
How do you think Vince is going to do? Well, he won't play, will he? Unless he's...
I think he will.
There's a good chance he will at some point.
Yeah.
As soon as a batsman's injured,
well, especially
or
after
out
this
of form,
the Morgan stuff.
then he's in.
What Morgan stuff?
Morgan just go for X-ray. So we're recording this
Friday.
Morgan has just been called, has been hit on the finger, and he's gone for an X-ray. So we'll find out.
Is he allowed to captain from the sideline? Like, what's the rules of a guy shouting on instructions?
You're not allowed to do it.
Well,
I've seen this video.
Well,
have you seen that video where
it was actually? I mean, it was a previous World Cup in like the 90s, I think, maybe even before that, where maybe New Zealand had the captain had an earpiece in, and the coach was talking to him from the dressing room, and then they got told, no, you can't do that, and they changed the rules.
Key players for England, I think Joss Buttler.
Yeah,
I just think he can win you games on his own.
He can win you games in the last 15 overs of an innings as well. You know, fair enough. A lot of players can win a game when they've got the 50 overs to do it in. He can do it in literally 10 or 15 overs. He can just change a game entirely.
I think Owen Morgan is another one that I think is extremely important to the team. Yeah. I think if he can lead from the front with the bat.
I'm not sure it's even that important that he bats well. It's just
but I get
have him in the team as captain.
Yeah, he's that good a captain. Yeah.
He's just so calm and fresh. Yeah.
He's such a good captain, and obviously this entire squad trusts him as captain as well. And I think that makes a big difference in a team. Just that having that trust between them all.
Yeah, and I think a key thing for England to win is to not get hit for 4 sixes in a row in the last over.
Well, I was going to say, he's averaging 50 in ODI cricket for the last 2 years.
Morgan.
No, Ben Stokes. So I think he's an important batsmen to that team.
Well, every single player
Is
in
getting
the
runs, yeah.
team is quality, and the reason that they're the
favourites.
number one side in the world, because they've got a squad of unbelievable players. We haven't even mentioned Joe Root.
How crazy
The
is
fact
that?
that he just scores a runnable 100. He's averaging 55 something in white ball cricket, and he doesn't really get a look in because of the other guys that score way quicker. But he has been pivotal to the England batting lineup.
I think it's also worth mentioning he doesn't actually score slowly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been
Just
routinely striking
comparatively.
at sort of 110s recently, and it's that's in any other team that's one of your most attacking batsmen, but in the England team that's the person
Slow.
you're trying to build an innings around.
Your anchor.
Yeah, absolutely. He's an important player to it.
That Folksy should feel not hard done by, but there's an opportunity to bring in Folks as an 11th player, have him bat at 7-8. You know he can score runs if you need. If you lose a couple quick wickets, you can send him in. He's gonna rebuild. But there are times where when Bairstow and Butler are behind the sticks, that they miss key opportunities, like in the penultimate Pakistan game. Just missed a pretty regulation stumping to get Babar Azam before when he was on about 70 odd, and that's something like folks would just not miss. And I think he'd save a lot of runs being behind the sticks.
Is there any scope for Bairstow taking the gloves? Who's got the better glove work between Bairstow and Butler?
That's a good question. I would say Bairstow's more consistent. Butler is
Can take worldies.
he's probably more talented as a keeper, but has days where he's awful.
Yeah,
do you think Bairstow should take the gloves, or do you think you
I'd
keep
leave
him
him with
Joss?
Butler.
yeah, it's working fine
Kind of
now
fixed,
ish.
yeah.
But I'd have had folks in the
But
squad.
yeah,
Certainly as an option.
And who would you replace him with, Vince?
Is there any real point in having
There's no point having three keepers.
Dawson at all?
Oh, yeah.
But the thing is, you say there's no point in having three keepers, but Bairstow and Butler are two of the best ODI batsmen in the world. They're not there as keepers; they're there as batsmen.
But folks,
and they just happen to be able to catch with gloves on.
but then you can make the argument that you don't need another keeper if you've got those two, and both of those can do a fine job.
You don't need them, but do you need Dawson in the squad?
No, because he's
No,
not going to
'cause
play. He's not going to play a game.
But Dawson offers.
Dawson is in the squad
Dawson offers
to run drinks to and from the pitch. That's the only reason.
What does Dawson offer that makes him someone that you should bring into the team ahead of folks?
Well, no, he's a spinner, right? He turns the ball away and he's a finger spinner. He has more control over the ball. Turns the ball the same direction as Rashid, and he gives it more control. I mean,
one, he doesn't turn the ball.
And
What?
two, Rashid's pretty undroppable at the moment.
no, I'm not saying Rashid to drop him, but I think three spinners is not a bad way to go about it. Because what if Mo, you could easily replace Mo with William Dawson. I would be more.
But
I don't think that would be a problem.
Equally, if Mo's injured, they can call up Liam Dawson anyway.
Well, if he gets dropped, if he
If
has
he's
to pull out of
If
the
he gets
squad.
injured, yeah.
Yeah.
And surely, if you're that desperate to play three spinners, Joe Root can chuck them down.
He does chuck him down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
And
you've
he
already
can't-
got three spinners in the team. So you're actually saying, should you pick a fourth spinner?
Well, I just think Dawson, because he's a finger spinner, he gives more control than Rashid does, and he turns the ball in the same direction.
That's a pretty small boost to a team compared to a keeper who could stand up to basically any of the bowling lineup, including most of the seamers.
Who would folks stand up to?
Folks could stand up to Stokes. He could stand up very easily to Wokes
I mean,
later in the
he
innings.
was standing up to Broad in the test stuff.
No way.
Yeah.
It's like,
And that's what having a genuinely class keeper does. Is they can stand up. James Foster, I watched stand up to Jimmy Anderson when Jimmy was bowling 90s. Because as long as they're not chucking it in short and they have control over where it is, a good keeper's quite happy to stand up to that pace.
How wild is that?
yeah, so That's why we think folks should be in the squad.
Yeah, it just gives you such a boost to be able to do that and root people in their ground.
And then you get to bowl at the batsman as opposed to the batsman gets to dictate your lengths. Because he then has to stay in his crease.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, it doesn't matter. The English selectors have supported me on this decision and not you guys, so
they have.
you're gonna have to deal with it.
I'm with Paddy. Dawson won't play, and it's just he's filling out the spot in the squad for no reason.
Let's move on to the big. Actually, no. Before we move on, predictions. Are you think England gonna go all the way, or are you think gonna bottle it?
It's a good thing we're playing South Africa early, because they're a side that if we actually played last, we'd just lose to.
No, South Africa would choke.
No. Later in the tournament, South Africa will be awful because it's South Africa.
I think that's the thing, because they'll bottle it. We'll be like, it'll be fine because they'll bottle it, and then we'll just bottle it harder. Like, it would very much be a game to see who could bottle it. They'll get bowled out for 150. On 50, we get bowled out for about 4. So I'm quite glad we're playing them early. I'd surely want to at least get to the final.
I'm backing them to win.
Bold
standing by
statements. Let's move on to the team that are not favourites, but they're close to the top with the big boys, India. For me, I think Rispin wins this tournament, and they've got 2 of the best. Although I've been told by Dhiren on numerous occasions that Kuldeep Yadav is rubbish, and he's been found out on numerous occasions by England, I still back him and Yuzvendra Chahal. Chahal is a class.
But didn't you just say that finger spinners have more control?
Yeah,
and
that's a very good point.
In the squad.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, but I would pick. I think Rispin gets you more wickets. So it depends on what you're.
So what you're saying is there's no point in picking Dawson. Okay.
No, because I don't see England trying. England's bowling attack has never been trying to get wickets. Like, so in England,
but
do you understand what I mean? So England are trying to be restricted. They don't try and take 20 wickets. They, as you put it, they minimise the total that the batsman can chase. India, on the other hand, they will try and bowl teams out with the.
And I was literally just trying to mug you off.
Yeah, well, unlucky. It didn't work.
Well, a little bit.
Regardless, the way India's bowling attack works. Well, if you think about it, you've got Bumrah, the 2 spinners. You've got 3 wicket takers in that team that can get a lot of wickets. I think the 2 wrist spinners and Bumrah will be the key to that bowling attack. I'm worried about the batting though. I think they rely too much on Rohit and Kohli, but at the same time they just score runs for fun, and so they are likely to just do it on their own.
I think if India are going to win the tournament, Bumrah will be top wicket taker by a long way in the tournament, and probably Kohli, if not Kohli, then Rohit will be top run scorer by a long way. I think it will require on each front. It will require one player to just have an outstanding tournament,
man of the tournament kind of situation.
Compared to some other teams where maybe it might be a bit more spread out, and it possibly wouldn't even have top run scorer or wicket taker, and they could still win the tournament. For a few other teams, I think for India it requires real individual brilliance.
Paddy, what do you think? Do you agree with what I was saying about the wrist spin, or do you disagree with it?
I would agree. I think they've got a strong side in the sense that they've got guys that they can just rip through teams with the spinners and with Jasprit as well. I think he could be quality this tournament, and I think he would genuinely destructive. And I'm looking forward to watching it. Really, that's all I can really say.
What do you think of Kuldeep? So, Dhiren, other people have said that he's been found out. I think he's still that good a wrist spinner, left arm Chinaman, and he turns the ball.
Oh no, I still rate him. Well, as I've said before, always rate a left arm leg.
Left arm Chinaman.
His PC term is left arm wrist spin, Jay.
Oh, yeah. Is that are they actually officially?
Yeah, it's a good question. Like,
do
you know when you inside edge it down to fine leg when you're playing a drive,
Is that called a French cut or Chinese
Yeah,
cut?
it's so.
Either or there's another name for it. I
Yugoslavian
think it's
cut?
Surrey cut or something like
Yeah.
that.
Surrey cut.
It's something like
There's
that.
a load of different geographical names.
But yeah, so
For it.
would you? I've stopped calling it a Chinese cut because it kind of just feels a bit weird.
Yeah.
Does
like
it?
French cut. French cut I can sort of get behind. I started calling it the
See-
Alex Hales because Alex Hales' entire test career was basically inside edging it down to fine leg.
We've kind of got a bit off topic there.
Or
But I don't like
actually,
calling it Chinaman. It feels dirty.
Yeah,
Okay.
it just feels kind of. Yeah, I don't really know.
it's just wrong.
Just call
Yeah.
it left arm leggies, I
So
agree.
especially
Left
you
arm
don't
wrist
want to
spin.
exclude anyone from the game, and you don't want
Exactly.
the bad parts of the game to be named after a race of people. Well, so it's not named after.
So you're
but
saying
the
it's a
name
bad
of
part of the game?
Well, the Chinese
left-
cut.
Oh no, I think my left arm
left
wrist
arm
spin.
leg
kick.
I was like,
Ban 'em.
mate, you're calling left arm wrist spin.
No, left arm wrist spin is
But-
the pinnacle of the game.
Yeah, to go back to Kuldeep, I do still think he's a handy bowler.
I think.
If only because it is something that a lot of people haven't faced that much of. And
I
It's
just
quite
Therefore-
tricky to pick.
I've never in my life faced a left arm leg spin.
Yeah, well, we've discussed it before.
Mm.
And Jay still refused to learn how to bowl left arm leggies.
I used to be. That was my original.
You're
Bowling. I used to
gonna
bowl
bowl
left
left arm
arm.
leggies at the nets later.
No chance. That'll go to the floor. Left arm wrist spin, and then my variation was what I bowl now, the orthodox, because no one
Well,
reads the
nothing.
hand then.
Well, nothing.
The other one is Dhoni.
Back, yeah, as I say, back to India. As much as we can talk about your wrist spin, I don't think you're quite going to get into the India side.
Ugh, you never know.
Yeah.
I mean, MS.
He's a rubbish
You
player.
you both think he's rubbish. He is
He's still a good keeper.
another
but
person
He's
that,
a match-losing batsman, is what he is.
mark my words. VK. No, I
I'm not betting you more VKs.
Um,
The thought of one VK is making me feel a bit queasy.
I think the plan is to bat Dhoni at 4. I think that's a better option than batting him at 6.
Get him out of the way.
No. No.
Yeah, you can get his. He doesn't when he gets a 13 ball duck.
It
Or
doesn't,
his-
doesn't
or
feel
his
quite so
four-
much like he's lost the
Yeah,
game. for you.
40 ball 5. It's less. It's less at a key moment.
Or then like 30 off 90 or something like that.
Yeah.
I think a couple of people that are unlucky to not make this team is Rayudu.
Mm.
Ambati Rayudu is like, he's just been really unlucky with his like the way that he's been
Yeah.
kind of played by India.
I
He
think,
gets runs.
but I think if we're talking omissions, Rishabh Pant.
Pant.
Why have
Oh,
they not picked him?
Yeah.
Why
is Dinesh
earth
Karthik playing?
have
Like,
they not picked Rishabh Pant? He's one of the best limited overs batsmen, certainly in India. Like
if
he's
not the world.
yeah, and he's probably in the at least in the top sort of 15 in the world.
And he doesn't even get in the Indian
And
team.
for
How
some
wild
reason,
is
India
that?
just go, yeah, no, we're not going to pick him.
I'm like a champ.
No, Ishant Sharma. That's interesting. I mean, limited overs, I can understand that. I mean, when you got Bumrah, Shami, and Bhuvneshwar Kumar, you don't.
Yeah, I
need
don't think they're
much.
struggling with seamers.
India's seam attack for the last 2-3 years has been the strongest it's ever been in its entire like history.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, historically, India have really struggled.
They've
with
had one.
quality
They normally
seamers.
have one
Yeah,
quality seamer.
at
So
any
Zahir
one time,
Khan
yeah.
before this, Srinath before that, couple of
But,
etc.
but recently they've actually produced a full pace attack, and there's depth as well.
Should we
Move on
move
to
swiftly on to the Kiwis?
quick prediction.
Oh,
Who do you
oh,
think?
quick! India. Oof.
I
It
think
really
semis.
it depends on whether they throw their game against Pakistan.
Do you really think it's that important?
I think they'll get through, but once they get to the semis against Pakistan,
Whether they play it politically
Yeah.
or whether they
because they've said
Waffle,
that they're
yeah.
thinking about boycotting the game.
Mm.
So there is a chance that they'd lose via not showing up, which would be a real shame. But it genuinely could happen.
Yeah.
So it's quite difficult to predict because it really depends on whether they play or not.
I am going to make a really rogue call. I've sent this to someone in the last couple of days as well.
This is what he's going to say. He's going to say they're not going to get through.
Correct. I think they're going to finish 5th in the group stages.
That is horrendous. They're going to lose that many games.
Yeah.
Fair. I mean,
I just have a feeling That it's clearly a good team. I have no real logic to back it up, but I just have a feeling that they're going to bottle
Just
it.
like a gut feeling.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, I can understand that. I think my brain says that they'll get to the semis, and then we'll see what happens from there.
What's your heart say?
I think Australia and England are too strong. I think there's two other teams that are stronger, and that they could like West Indies could do it. I think India don't get through. In my heart, I don't think they get through.
I wouldn't be that surprised if the four that get through England, Australia, Pakistan, and the Windies.
Yeah. Let's move swiftly on to
the Kiwis,
the most important team of this World Cup.
Yeah.
So
Ish Shodhi's Merry Men.
Ish Shodhi's what?
Merry Men.
Merry Men. Although he's...
I mean, it's over. They've won. Sorry, my mistake when I said before, the team that are going to win will be New Zealand.
Yeah.
Ish Shodhi's playing.
Yeah,
is he going to be man of the tournament?
Yeah. He's going to be bloke of...
Did he's already automatically written
Yeah.
But not only that, he's bloke of life as well.
Absolutely.
He's bloke of the life.
Although, I mean, he's recently been kind of maybe almost pipped for your favourite Kiwi spinner now, hasn't he? Because
do we want to talk about that?
Yeah.
But I think we should point out the reason that you love Ish Shodhi so much is because he replied to your DM on Instagram.
Yeah, but it's also because he's got some good YouTube
Yeah,
compilations as well.
And but now
Ajaz
Patel has also replied to your DM on Instagram.
Yeah, he did.
You need to replace the poster on your wall now.
Yeah.
No Ish Shodhi anymore.
I should
cut
get
out Ajaz
You should
Patel's
get. You
face
should
and
get.
stick it
You know
up.
those like cardboard cutouts of
life
people?
size.
Yeah, the life size ones. That whenever you see it in a room, you absolutely brick it because you think it's a really like. Oh, what?
Can you get that for my birthday? Yeah,
I'll see what I can do. I'll see if I can get you a life size cardboard
cut
cutout
Shodhi, like halfway
of
through
Ish
his accent.
Shodhi. I find that'd be really funny.
You should do that. I like being genuinely serious though. Ish Sodhi's actually quite, if he plays, I don't know if he's going to be. He's been first choice spinner in the ODI team for a while. Whether he is now that Santner is back is a different question. Who do they? Bowling wise, their seam attack has been pretty stagnant in ODI cricket.
Yeah.
Like, Bolt is class, but they're only very good for the first, as Sam has always told me, they're only good for the first 10 overs, or when the ball is swinging. Then Southey and Bolt kind of lose their...
and you've got to remember playing against England, the ball will start swinging less earlier.
Yeah.
It'll be hit out of shape.
Yeah, exactly, because of how hard they get hit.
Mm.
The ball will lose its shape a lot quicker.
Who do you think is important to this team? I think Ross Taylor is averaging 55.
Ross Taylor's an unbelievable cricketer.
And he's in very good form in ODI cricket. For the last 3 years, I think he's been... the only person averaging more than him is Virat Kohli.
I think Colin of Big Man.
The Grandhome.
Yeah, he's going to be...
Hang on a minute. What did you call him? Colin
of Big Man. That's what it means.
Oh, really? For
the Grandhome... An om's a man, Grand's big, dirt means of. So he's Colin of Big Man. I think he's a genuinely good player, and he's kind of goes a bit under the radar sometimes. I think he could do a good job if he decides he wants to.
Yeah, he's not that consistent.
No.
And like a lot of the time he comes in a little bit too late to kind of like, I guess, win games. And sometimes when he's batting, he'll get you like a 30 or 40 off like 20 balls or something. But
yeah, he can bully bowling attacks if he gets going.
It'll be interesting to see who they pick between him and Jimmy Neesham.
Yeah.
Because Neesham does the same thing. Arguably, he's a bit better of a bowler. No, he's a worse bowler, but I think he's a bit of better batsman.
Yeah, he's a more consistent batsman. He's probably not quite as destructive as of Big Man. But,
so I think it'd be worth sending in the Big Man for some of the bigger games.
Yeah. Rowe, cool. I think not. I don't know why they've picked Colin Munro. He's just not performed in ODI cricket.
Yeah, I mean they've picked him because of his T20.
Yeah, and then
I think, really.
You said this last time when I said this. I said, he got 3 T20 hundreds. I was like, but he's not performed in ODI cricket.
Yeah,
Kane.
I think Lockie Ferguson is another one who could be very important for them.
He bowls 93 plus. He's like Jofra pace. But being serious though, I think if Santner and Sodhi could do what they did in India in that 2016 World T20 and like I guess prolong it, New Zealand are in the game with the ball. if they play two spinners, they play Sodhi and Santner, and they bowl well, it's game on because both those two players can get wickets. I just question the strength of that bowling attack if the spinners don't work.
I quite like to see New Zealand play their games very overcast in like Chester Street or something. Which, saying that, I just realised I've got tickets for England New Zealand at Chester Street. I hope it's really hungover. Really hungover?
You're really hungover.
I'm really hungover. No, I hope it's really overcast. Is what I meant.
Foreshadowing?
I won't be really hungover. I'll be really hungover for the next game because I've got that game and then I've got West Indies Bangladesh the next day in Headingley.
Yeah.
Prediction.
And Williamson hasn't lit the world on fire in ODI cricket for a while.
Yeah.
He's getting runs, but he's not getting tons.
I say he doesn't have the guys around him. I don't think quite like Root does for the England squad.
Yeah, there's no Guptill. Guptill's a big player, but I just think you're right in the sense how Root has all those X factor players around him. Williamson just doesn't. There's like peaks and troughs in that New Zealand team. There's like Guptill, Williamson, etc. But there's just a few weak players in that team. Prediction? Nah.
5th or 6th.
Yeah.
Not getting through.
I'd agree. I mean, I said India will finish 5th, so I'll say New Zealand will finish 6th.
Who's the next team?
Pakistan.
First big one. They called back Mohammed Amir.
Yeah. It's an interesting one given he's not really taken any wickets really like for about 2 years in ODIs.
I think just that having that experienced player I think is what you need.
I think the other thing to remember is also while he's not been taking wickets, he has fulfilled a role. His economy over the same period in which I can't remember what the exact stats were, but it's something horrendous. He's getting like 4 wickets in the last 20 ODIs he's played or something stupid. But he's gone at like 4.2 and over.
It's pretty good.
So even if he's not been taking wickets, he's not been going for any runs either.
And he's putting pressure on at the other end.
He's not putting pressure on at the other end.
He will be putting pressure on. Because if he's going at so little, then you're going to help the other guy get some wickets, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's all about bowling in partnerships. As Caleb learnt the hard way last year when he's bowling to the 75s, getting no wickets, and I'm bowling my little swingers at the other end and just cleaning up.
Wahab Riaz.
Yeah, why have you brought him back? I was like, has he even been playing for Pakistan recently?
Not really, I don't think.
That's what confused me about Wahab.
It's kind of, they brought him back in the hope that he'll perform as well as he did in the last World Cup, I suppose.
That was such a good World Cup. That spell against Watson is probably one of my favourite World Cup spells. He was so unlucky to not get him. I wonder, like, who batting wise. No Azhar Ali, no Asad Shafiq. Is Asad Shafiq playing? I don't think he is.
No.
No Asad Shafiq.
But
their test team and their ODI team are very different.
You know, they've got
Fakhar Zaman and Babar Azam. Yeah,
exactly. Shoaib Malik in there.
Shoaib Malik, he's like 45 now.
But he brings that experience again into the squad, into the back lineup.
Interesting playing Haris Sahel as well. He's probably quite crucial to that batting lineup. Do you think Shadab Khan plays as a wrist spinner? Because they've got like 4 offies.
Yeah.
With like Imad Wasim, Mohammed Hafiz, Shoaib Malik. They all bowl part-time offies.
So if he's allowed to bowl again,
I'm sure he bowled. Yeah, no, he definitely bowled because I saw Roy saying he chucks it.
Oh yeah.
Because I remember watching that, and Roy was like,
Yeah,
"You're up." He's doing the action. He's like, "Yeah, I'm sure you're chucking it, mate."
Just stick to hitting it over the boundary. Let the umpires call the chucking.
Yeah.
What do you think's gonna happen, Pakistan? What do you think?
I reckon they're gonna do quite well. I reckon they're gonna finish.
I just don't know. You can never predict them.
Who did I say was gonna finish 4th? Australia. No,
Australia. Yeah, you said Australia 4th and then losing the semis.
Yeah, so I reckon.
So they'll be
Pakistan 3.
So you think England West Indies in the final?
No, Pakistan 2.
so they'll be in the final.
Yeah.
I think Pakistan will finish like 3rd or 4th in the group stage, then win the semi, lose the final to England.
I
They
don't think they get through.
They are the kind of side to lose to Bangladesh and then beat England.
Yeah, that's very true. I just don't see them getting through. My reasoning is I just think they rely so much on Babar Azam to get runs.
Yeah.
But I mean, like again, like they're just so inconsistent. Like I don't know how else you can really model or predict how they go.
Yeah, they're very much. Yeah, they could finish top. They could.
As Caleb would say, very on their day.
I'm not so sure about that. I think they have been a lot better recently at being
like more consistent.
Some birds
The birds have a fight outside. We can use the birds to segue into the Safa side.
How have they done in ODI cricket recently? I've not
great.
South Africa, they didn't do well against Australia in Australia. I remember Dale Steyn was there.
Yeah,
they struggled in that.
Yeah, they've been pretty so in ODI cricket recently. I think.
I can't see them doing well at all. If I'm honest.
I mean, they have good
they've
players.
got players.
On paper,
there.
it's a good team.
But Amla hasn't scored runs for 2-3 years now.
But yeah, I mean, Amla's been in some pretty shocking form.
Faf is not that consistent in my opinion. I don't think he scores that many runs. He's a leader though.
I'll tell you what it is though. It's a very, very scary bowling lineup.
Yes. Rabada,
Dale, and Geedy.
Yeah.
Who do you think they picked, Shamsi or Tahir? Both are wrist spinners. I think
they'll go to here.
They go to
experience.
Here. Shamsi's a good bowler. I love what he's a Chinaman. Sorry, left arm wrist spin.
Yeah.
And
he's sake, Jay. It'll be to here.
I think
Markram is an important player for that team. If they want to win, because Amla's not scoring runs, Markram has to score runs with the
He's going to be averaging like 80, 90.
And Quinton just has to just keep doing what he does.
I think it's one of those things. Quinton has been all right recently, but he's not been setting the world alight. Him and Amla are both capable of winning a tournament.
And David Miller, I forgot about David Miller.
Yeah, he's a destructive batsman on his day.
You see that 100 off 30?
Yeah.
In a T20.
Yeah, he's done it. He's done it more than once. Just
I remember
ridiculous chases.
Actually, the first time I watched David Miller live at the Champions Trophy in 2013. That was the first time I saw him, and South Africa were like 5 down for like 80, and he actually got them to respectable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Total.
But
I just don't see them going. I just don't see them getting anywhere with the batting. I think they're bowling. They can bowl teams out, but like on the decks that they have, they're not. The pitches aren't going to help bowlers. They're just going to be roads, baseball, cricket.
Yeah.
Prediction? No.
Fine. They'll do fine. They'll be somewhere in the middle, but they won't get through.
Yeah.
They'll win the games they should. They'll lose against the bigger sides. I think the one side I feel reasonably confident predicting. I feel like they're going to beat all the teams.
That we expect them to beat.
All the teams lower than them, and they'll lose to all the teams that end up being above them. It won't be they'll beat Australia and England and lose to Bangladesh.
They'll be sort of somewhere middle of the road. They might just squeeze in to the semis. If they do, they'll lose the semi.
Sri Lanka? Just no.
Bizarre
no
choice of captain.
Chandimal. No Chandimal. And then Karunaratne hasn't played an ODI for 4 years or 3 years.
Yeah.
And then gets picked as the ODI captain for the World Cup.
And having been arrested for drink driving a week before being told that he was captain as well. It's a very odd squad.
No Dick Weller.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
They've not picked Nurashan.
Nurashan's my boy as well.
Yeah.
And
I don't think we can explain why.
It's just
like there's no batting.
It's a very
average.
Lasith Malinga playing. Squad. I do love though the fact that he's just never ever going to stop. It'll be 400. With 400, his curls will be down to his hips, and it'll still just like
he'll keep playing until his arm just like falls off one day.
Which I wouldn't be surprised if this tournament he bowls one and his
arm
goes with
it.
I don't know if you saw this. So mid IPL, he had to go back to Sri Lanka to play in the ODI, and there was like a really interesting post. He got 3 wickets for Mumbai the one day. The next day he got a 7 for or 6 for playing for his Sri Lankan
Captaining his Sri Lankan
team, and then came back and played an IPL game like 2 days later.
So that because the Sri Lankan rules say that you have to compete and you have to participate in the domestic one-day tournament for you to be eligible for selection for the World Cup.
Yeah.
So to do that, he had to be playing in that while the IPL was starting. The initial suggestion was he was just going to miss the start of the IPL, and instead he just decided he was going to fly back and forth.
So I mean, it's sort of like cricket. Like Ash's cricket style on the PlayStation of I'll play around the globe. It doesn't matter that I can't play both games because the flight won't let me. It's like, yeah, I'll play in both the Bangladeshi Super League and also I'll play domestic cricket in South Africa.
I mean, it's only a 2-hour flight from Mumbai to Columbus. It's not actually that bad. Like, it's almost like a commute kind of thing.
But tough when you're captaining the team in Sri Lanka as well.
Predictions? What do you think of this team? I just don't see. There's no mystery spinner. There's no one that bowls real heat.
Near the bottom.
I'd say they could be bottom.
I think they're definitely. They're going to be fighting. I think they'll finish. I'm going to put them 9th.
Who did you put as your bottom? You did put Afghanistan. You put
Bangladesh.
So I think Bangladesh beat this side. I think Bangladesh are a stronger team than this guys. And these guys have no confidence right now as a team. They've struggled.
I think they could be 10th.
They were struggling to put on a big total against the Scotland side.
They did, or they're struggling. Yeah,
they were struggling.
Oh yeah, you went to the game.
Well, yeah, I mean they got away with a few drop catches from Scotland.
There was 3 or 4 drops.
They said
otherwise, yeah. I mean there was a regulation slip catch. There was
a
one
regulation mid-off.
Yeah.
Catch.
Would you have taken it?
Yes, and that's when you know it's.
Yeah, no, the mid-off one.
Mid-off one, I backed myself.
Were you there?
No, I was watching the stream.
If I honest, the slip catch I'd have backed myself to grab as well because it
was a regulation slip
kind
catch.
Of like
it was just in nice height.
Yeah,
straight at him.
Sort of just at like knee height.
Oh, this is what I'm saying. They have no They've got no wins to come off in ODI cricket. Maybe if it's a test match, it's a different story because obviously they won in South Africa. But like, I just don't see them winning. Just simple as. I just don't see them winning games.
They will very much struggle.
And then finally, my favourites to win this tournament currently.
Really?
Yeah, I just think they're gonna do it. It's just a rogue. It's a rogue one, but I just think.
I think the flatter the decks, I think the better they'll do.
Yeah,
because they have got guys who hit the ball so hard.
I can't wait to see Andre Russell hit it out of Trent Bridge. I just cannot wait.
Yeah, they have to build an entire new stand as he just peppers the old one. Well, the one that's just been built with just 6s that just break through the foundation.
Yeah. But maybe this time they can not take off half the playing area.
Yeah, maybe they could actually build it somewhere where there's enough space for a cricket pitch.
What do you think of this West Indies team?
There are runs there.
There's lots of runs.
There are a lot of runs.
Shy Hope.
Quite a mix of how they can score them as well. There's a lot of guys who hit the ball hard, but then you've got like Shy Hope who can bat in basically any way he wants.
Yeah.
He's not going to come out and bully attacks the same way that Gale and Brathwaite will, but he can score quickly. Or he can bat really slowly.
I think I'd like to raise the point that Jay's just said that West Indies are his favourites for the tournament. A tournament which he said leg spin will win. Do they even have a leg spinner?
Yeah, I was just looking. They don't have a spinner. Who's their spinner?
Nurse. But if you can call him that.
Yeah, like
he is. Yeah. He is definition utility player. I think he's like Liam Dawson if Liam Dawson weren't as good as he is.
I'm looking forward to watching Shimron.
Yeah, so Shimron, he's a class.
When he came in for the test against England, I had literally no idea who he was.
Yeah.
And Caleb, one of our pals, just went, "Just watch this guy. Trust me, it's gonna be quality." And after about 10 balls he's faced, I was like, "Yeah, I love him."
They don't have a spinner, so they just bowl seamers. I haven't seen. What do they do in Ireland?
Gale bowlers offies. Can he still?
Yeah.
Like
just about probably.
He can walk off one pace and do it.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't need to. He doesn't need a run up.
I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up bowling quite a bit.
But, yeah, I think that's going to cost them.
No spinner.
Just they've not got any spin there.
Yeah.
Literally,
especially later on in the tournament.
Actually,
when the
Nurse
pitches
is your
get a
first
bit.
pick spinner.
Where's
in a
Bishu?
squad. I don't know.
Where's Narai?
I hadn't clocked this until I was just looking at the squad there.
When I looked through it, I was like,
It's
there's
just
lots of
some
seamers.
of it.
Shannon Gabriel, you got Sheldon Cottrell, you got Carlos Brathwaite, Andre Russell, Kemar Roach.
O'Shane Thomas, I think, is the best of the lot.
Does he bowl heat?
He bowls heat and he moves it. He's a class bowler.
No, Alzari Joseph. That can't be right. There's no way they've not picked Alzari.
He's still injured.
Oh.
I don't know how long his injury was putting out for. It took him out the IPL. I don't know if that's what's kept him out of the World Cup as well.
Yeah. You're right though that I guess it kind of defeats kind of my philosophy of saying leg spin's going to win the World Cup and then saying West Indies going to win it with
no spinner at all.
Or just Shy Hope loses the gloves.
It just turns out he
chucks it.
Beautiful leggies.
Got some flighty leggies.
90-degree bend. I think.
Or Jason Holder, the team man that he is, has actually been working in nets on just bowling leggies.
He's kind of going to be like, well, I'll do it if you need.
He's
just
a
out of
hero.
nowhere.
The reason I think they could win it is because I feel like they can chase anything with the amount of big hitters they have. And then I feel like so they can chase anything, and then I feel that their seamers are probably as an overall seam attack. I think with the variety they have in Brathwaite, Andre Russell, then you've got O'Shane Thomas, Shannon Gabriel. So you've got quick, and then you've got some good death bowlers there, in Russell and people like that. I think that they have a good balanced seam attack that they can restrict teams. But I just think I just back their batsmen more.
I think the big thing, the difference between the West Indies side and the England side with the batting is England now look like they'll never ever get bowled out for a small total. I'm talking sort of 200 and below. Whereas there is still a chance the Windies all get out and score very, very, very little.
I think
the chance is still quite slim, but it's there compared to some of the better teams that just doesn't happen.
I think the West Indies sort of batting philosophy is kind of old school big hitting. Of it is big shots, big blokes hitting big shots. Whereas the England batting philosophy is they've talked a lot about it recently actually about how they essentially just go to they bat how they know they can bat. And it's essentially playing percentages, which has been shown time and time again. That's a very effective way to play any sport, but especially cricket, is playing your percentages. And I think England do that very well. West Indies don't do it that well for me.
What do you think, West Indies?
I think they've.
You said they're going to get through.
Yeah, I reckon they could. I won't say definitively 100% they'll get through.
Yeah.
I'm unsure, but there'll certainly be an entertaining watch. My prediction will be they'll be fun to watch.
I think I've left myself with them being a losing semi-finalist from my other predictions, which I'm happy to stick with.
I've only actually predicted two or three teams. I only predicted New Zealand.
What to go through?
No, not to get through.
Well,
I've not said my whole four that will go through.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. I think West Indies get through. I don't know if they win the final. I think they could bottle it. Or at the same time, they're the kind of team that will rise to the occasion. Well, I've just literally said both two contrary statements.
You're really hedging your bets.
I'm just sitting on the fence. How's that fence I'm sitting on?
He's got both. He's better on both.
Yeah.
Both
no.
Good.
No, I think West Indies win. That's my statement.
I reckon West Indies is near the end of the alphabet. W.
Yeah.
So that must mean we're done.
Yeah.
No
Zimbabwe.
You forgot about
Zimbabwe, Yugoslavia.
You've got Yugoslavia.
Yeah. Well, I suppose after those predictions, Jay hedging his bets heavily, I suppose it's time to end this World Cup graphs on the wicket. I think we're going to do quite a lot of World Cup content coming up because why not? It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of cricket, a lot to talk about.
Yep.
And the only place to catch it is here. And the only place to catch it is on the socials. Sam, can we talk
Nice,
to
that was
socials?
sly.
Yeah, I've been working on this. I'm less rubbish than I used to be. Still pretty rubbish though.
Socials are at Grass Wicket on the Twitter. We're on Facebook, Grass and Wicket Podcast. We are on Spotify. We're on Podbean. We're on Stitcher. We're on YouTube. Albeit, I think we need to update that because there's not been the last few episodes on that.
A new one for us. I've started us an Instagram.
Yes.
We're Grass on the Wicket Podcast on Instagram. And we currently just take pictures of basically Sam and Jay playing cricket because I'm too injured to play. Which is what it's been so far.
You'll see some new content very soon. Hopefully some nip battles.
Yeah, I think we're trying to do some net battles for the old Instagram.
I like how you just said what Jay said, but you said it so people could understand.
Yeah. Well, I'd actually, it was
in English.
Speak English.
But yeah,
make sure to send us in your comments and questions. Like, we really do appreciate feedback. Comment on YouTube, comment on Facebook, Twitter. Send us in questions on Twitter. We love answering questions.
We did get one question on the Twitter from Broomhall CC.
Oh, we actually got another one.
I assume,
do you know?
They're Joe Chalmers' club.
So they play over just north of the.
And I assume that they're welcoming new members.
I guess so.
They asked whether we're still doing the podcast or if it's just the Sam appreciation channel now, because that's all that our Instagram and Twitter seem to be, which is pictures of Sam getting wickets.
I very much enjoyed that.
Well, I suppose if you're getting wickets, we want to talk about it because wickets don't last forever. And
we did get a serious question from Jonah Deirdrick, but we will skip over it.
We can save that for another time.
Yeah, I'll ask that on another time. I think we'll accumulate some Twitter questions. So if you've got anything for us, and if you want to comment on how stupid our World Cup predictions are, send us in your messages.
Send us in your own predictions. Tell us what you think is going to happen in this World Cup, and I think that's everything.
Yeah, I think we're pretty much done there. So thank you very much for listening. Sam, got anything to say? You've been scoring a lot of runs and taking a lot of wickets recently. So.
I was to say, he's not got many runs. He's got wickets.
All right, big dog.
Well, you've taken a lot of wickets. I think why don't you finish with your golden secret to taking wickets?
I don't really have one. I've just been wanging it down, and for some reason, batsmen keep getting out to it.
See, this is why we don't have a
club cricketer tip of the week from Sam Dyer is bowl at batsmen that aren't good enough.
Yeah, definitely.
Just play a bad standard.
Definitely. I mean, that's how I took 4 against Aberdeen.
And on that, thank you very much for listening. Have a good weekend. I hope you enjoyed our double header weekend, and we'll see you guys next week.
Cheers.